The movie begins with a shy corporate strategist named Linda working on a report. She is socially awkward and tries hard to get along with her peers, but ends up being ignored. She is even exploited by her co-worker named Donovan, who takes the company reports she prepared after many sleepless nights. When she is about to join the meeting with the executives, he stops her, tells her she isn't needed, and removes her name tag from the report to take away the credit. Linda feels disappointed by that, but remains optimistic, as she is next in line for the company's VP position, which was promised to her by the late president in front of his son, Bradley Preston, who is taking over. Linda explains to her parrot that they are going to live a great life. The following day, at the office, Bradley is being introduced to everyone as their new president. Seeing this, Linda quickly puts away her sandwich and forgets to wipe off the remains from her mouth in a hurry to meet Bradley. She stops him to have a conversation and says she is really excited to work with him in her new position. However, he is annoyed by the sandwich residue on her mouth, and quickly leaves for his office. Linda thinks their interaction went really well, but Bradley finds tuna residue on his hand from Linda's handshake. He gets disgusted and calls her a madwoman. Franklin, a senior executive, reminds Bradley that his father had promised Linda a promotion and that she's been waiting for it. Bradley dismisses the request, choosing Donovan instead. When Franklin argues that Linda is indispensable, especially for the Bangkok merger, which Donovan can't manage alone, Bradley reluctantly agrees to take her along to support the deal, planning to sideline her once it's complete. Linda notices Donovan in Bradley's office, laughing and joking around. She soon learns from her colleague that her promotion has been passed over to Donovan, since he is a frat buddy of Bradley and they play golf together. Linda gets furious and decides to confront him. She goes to his office and interrupts him while he is conducting an interview. She informs him she is dissatisfied with his decision, as she has been working hard in that company for 7 years, while Donovan has only been there for 6 months. Bradley admits she is a great employee, but thinks she is not ready for an executive position, as she can't light up the room and charm people like Donovan. She breaks down in tears, but Bradley acts insensitively, tells her to join them on the plane to Bangkok for the merger, and expects her to handle the work that needs to be done. Linda is shocked by that conversation before Bradley's fiancée Zuri shows up. When Linda is about to leave, Bradley warns her not to eat at her cabin, saying people are complaining about a bad odor. Linda agrees and walks away from there crying. She breaks down in her car, but soon pulls herself together, and joins Bradley, Donovan, and a few others. After boarding the plane, Linda gets to work and starts writing up a report. Meanwhile, Donovan pulls out his laptop to show Bradley the survivor videotape made by Linda, showing her survival skills. Everyone laughs and makes fun of her, but Linda is unaware of it as she is listening to music while preparing the report. However, Linda soon realizes what's happening. She gets emotionally destroyed and deletes the report. Suddenly, the plane goes through a storm, and they experience extreme turbulence. Bradley and Linda manage to strap themselves just in time before everyone gets thrown away. The plane got depressurized, causing a hole. When Donovan is pulled toward it, he holds on to Linda for his life. She tries to help him, but he demands that she give up her seat. When she refuses, he tries to choke her. Linda stabs his hand with a fork, and he's thrown out of the plane. However, his tie gets stuck to the plane, dragging him to his death as the plane descends into the water. Linda unstraps herself, swims out of the plane to the surface, and grabs onto a raft. The following morning, she wakes up washed up on the shore of an island nearby. She wandered around the island for hours before running into unconscious Bradley with an injured leg, making him unable to move. She places him somewhere safe and starts building a shelter for them. She collects rainwater from the coconut shells. The following morning, Bradley regains consciousness, and Linda gives him some water. He is devastated when he learns about Donovan's death and realizes they are the only survivors. Linda uses her survival skills to make fire and fries up the fish she caught, and feeds it to Bradley. Linda finds herself happy on that island, while Bradley gets impatient and wonders how long they need to live on that island. Linda explains that the authorities have to locate the crash site first, and she thinks the plane might have drifted miles from its course. Now they ended up somewhere in the Gulf of Thailand, and it's going to take many weeks to find them since there are many small islands around. He asks whether she tried making a distress signal, like making a fire or spelling out help with rocks or logs. Linda explains it's not her priority at the moment as she is only trying to survive. Bradley gets furious as she is not trying hard to get out of there. When he refuses to take her help, and reminds her that he is her boss and insults her, Linda gets infuriated and leaves him stranded. Bradley thinks she would come back, but she doesn't. He is unable to move and is left dehydrated and exposed to the sun for the next 2 days. Linda eventually returns and gives him some water before reminding him that they are not in his office anymore. Linda realizes they need more sustaining food and finds tracks of wild boar. She makes a spear and prepares to hunt it. Bradley gets surprised by her new personality. Linda goes into the woods following the tracks, and soon gets close, only to be attacked by that boar. So she quickly runs away as it chases her, and it stops when it finds Linda's scarf. But it turns out to be a distraction, and she jumps on it from above and stabs it, but the boar breaks it away and comes to attack before she impales it with the other half of the spear, killing the boar. Linda returns and throws the severed head towards Bradley and tells him she enjoyed the hunt. That evening, they greatly enjoyed the meal. The next day, Linda finds a waterfall in the jungle and gets excited, as she has a new source of water to drink and bathe. At that moment, she spots a boat passing at a distance. She tries to call for help, but soon changes her mind as she doesn't want to be rescued yet. She returns to Bradley and says nothing about the boat. Meanwhile, Bradley gets frustrated with being trapped on the island for 2 weeks, and thinks they should build a raft to go to a place where they can be seen and rescued. Linda thinks it's a bad idea and should stay on the island. He gets furious over being ordered around by Linda and walks away limping with the help of a stick. He tries to build his own camp, but fails, while Linda knows how to survive. After struggling for a few days to gather food and water, he realizes he can't survive without Linda and resorts to her. He notices she is having a great meal, and also has a knife, which she found when it washed up on shore. Bradley apologizes for insulting her and for underestimating her back in the office. Bradley asks if he could join her for lunch. After a lot of thought, Linda agrees and offers him some food, which he devours. Later, she takes him for a walk where they climb a mountain, and by the cliff side, she shows him which berries to avoid and how poisonous they are. She also warns him to avoid a part of the island which contains thorn bushes and poisonous plants. Bradley agrees, and as they head back, Linda falls as the ground breaks beneath her, and Bradley comes to the rescue and saves her. That night, they both got drunk on the wine made by Linda with some fermented fruit. As they talk, Linda tells him that she was married for 10 years, and her husband was abusive, and she had thought about leaving him for years, until he died in a car accident. But she is the one who allowed him to drive drunk after he said some awful things to her. Bradley gets worried knowing her dark side. The following morning, Linda accidentally sees Bradley bathing at the shore and gets drawn towards him. That evening, their camp was wrecked when it was hit by a storm, forcing them to rush into a cave and hold on to each other. Since their camp is gone, they built a new one on the higher ground. They slowly begin to bond, and Bradley offers to cook dinner for her, to which Linda gladly accepts. That evening, he gave her some food, which she enjoyed, until she started feeling dizzy and fell to the ground. It turned out that Bradley poisoned the food to get away on the raft he secretly built, leaving Linda behind. However, after going for a little distance, the raft gets wrecked by the waves just before another huge wave throws him away. He gets rescued by Linda, who revives him. Bradley apologizes, and Linda forgives him, offering him food, only for him to be paralyzed by the octopus's toxins in retribution for poisoning her. Linda assures that the toxins aren't going to kill him and will wear off in a few hours. She then removes his pants and prepares to torture him by castrating him, while he doesn't feel a thing. Bradley cries over it before Linda pulls out a dead rat to show that she tricked him the whole time, and warns him that next time it won't be a rat. Things eventually get back to normal, and Linda goes to collect food from the island and hears a boat approaching her. Linda is horrified to find it's Zuri, and a boat captain, who came to rescue them. Zuri is elated to learn that Bradley is alive. Since Linda doesn't want to get back to her old life, she guides them towards the unstable cliffside, where Zuri falls when the ground suddenly breaks beneath her, and the captain jumps in to hold her, and asks for Linda's help. She hesitates for a moment, before grabbing a heavy rock and striking the captain, resulting in both him and Zuri falling to their deaths. Linda returns to Bradley, but is haunted by Zuri's death. Bradley informs her they should go for a hunt as he spotted some fresh boar tracks, but she refuses, claiming she is not feeling well. That night, she hallucinates Zuri crawling along the beach, threatening to expose her to Bradley. As Linda confronts her, she dissolves, only to reappear as a ghost to wake Linda from a nightmare. Meanwhile, Bradley sets out to hunt the boar alone and discovers Zuri's severed arm on the beach, recognizing it by the large engagement ring. He is heartbroken by Zuri's death and gets enraged, believing Linda is behind it. He confronts her with the ring and asks if she killed Zuri. Linda claims it's an accident as she fell from the cliff. Bradley questions if it's just like her husband's death was an accident. Linda realizes she was caught and tries to reach her knife, but is shocked to find Bradley holding it. Linda senses the danger and runs into the woods while being chased by Bradley. Linda hides behind the tree, and Bradley eventually gets to her, only to find her shoes with no laces, just before Linda tries strangling him from behind with those laces. But Bradley pulls her hair, making her partially scalped. Linda gets furious and attacks Bradley, and bites his finger, which makes him gouge her eye out until she smashes his head with a rock. She further enrages him by showing Zuri's ring and swallowing it. Bradley takes her down and tries to push her face into the mud puddle until she takes the knife and stabs him in the side. Bradley runs away from there, and Linda finds him heading towards the part of the island which she told him to avoid. Bradley reaches the shore and is shocked to discover the mansion by the cliffside. He rushes towards the mansion and makes it inside before hearing Linda's voice over the speaker. She explains that she knew about the mansion long ago, and they could have been rescued the same day she saw the caretaker's boat, but she wasn't ready to leave yet, and followed them to the mansion and managed to get the security code. After the caretakers had left, she would sneak in to get to those supplies to keep control over him. Linda claims she wanted to spend more time with him on the island, but he has left her no choice. She soon emerges holding a shotgun, and Bradley gets on his knees and laments being a bad person. He assures that he is a changed man now, and fell in love with her by the way she took care of him. Bradley agrees to stay with her on the island and build a life together. Linda gets happy until she realizes it's a ploy after noticing the missing horn from the artifact. Bradley attacks and takes away the shotgun from her, only to find it's unloaded. Linda grabs a golf club and knocks him down before beating him to death. A year later, after her rescue, Linda has reinvented herself as a wealthy, celebrated figure, capitalizing on her ordeal as the self-proclaimed sole survivor. At a celebrity golf tournament, she promotes a film adaptation of her best-selling memoir and announces an upcoming self-help book, declaring, "No help is coming, so you'd better start saving yourself." As she departs with her pet parrot, she gives a chilling, sinister glance at the camera. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.